You were born ready?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you feeling belt fed this morning?
No, I am not feeling belt fed this morning. I've had a headache that won't go away for days, and don't send me your recipes for your thing because I've already taken them. Whatever it is, I've already taken it.
Which
already done
I
it.
think is the problem, but that's just me. That's just me.
I've taken the chemical stuff. I've taken the natural stuff. I've taken
What
the
have you taken
sinus
that's
stuff.
natural?
CBD oil.
Oh.
Uh-huh. I've taken...
I think you're taking too much.
Sinus stuff. I'm drinking tons of water. I've drank caffeine. It's not a caffeine headache. It's just
No, I think you're taking too much.
Okay.
I say that with my full medical background. Yeah.
I think it's changing the weather. It's snowing again. One day it started snowing and it didn't stop for 6 months. Forrest Gump, probably.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, it snows all the time. It's supposed to snow in Texas in the coming days.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
I'll believe that when I see it.
I mean, it snows in Texas.
Like once a decade.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw snow was 5th grade.
If you show up in Texas in December or January with only shorts and a short sleeve shirt, I promise you it will snow. It'll
Right.
just happen that way.
Right.
Just the way it goes. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm well.
What do we got on the menu for today?
There's so much going on.
There is.
It's just slipping right by us.
Right. Well, we've been
Where
out
do you
of
wanna
pocket
start?
since we took a hiatus.
Yeah, we went to Salida.
We went and looked at someplace near Salida we thought we might want to look at, and it was a no-go.
Well, it was for sale, but apparently you had to
It's
ski
under contract
in
now.
6 miles.
You've got to ski into this place and or have a snowmobile in the winter months, and I'm thinking that's perfect.
Right?
I'm thinking we buy a Hummer.
We wanted privacy. I don't think the Hummer's going to get up that road.
An H1? Maybe. We'll see.
I don't think it's going to get up there in the winter. Maybe in the summer, spring, and fall. But yeah, our GPS told us to turn right, and I started laughing because there was nowhere to turn unless you were on skis.
Turning off the main road, and it said, turn here. And we both looked at the county road that had a mountain of snow in front of it. And we said, this ain't happening.
Yeah. So that's all right. We had fun. I got to shoot my new gun.
Let's talk about that.
My new gun? Oh, she's so pretty.
You got a gun for Christmas because Santa thought you've been good all year.
Right? I have been good.
What'd you get?
Glock 19.
Awesome.
Yeah. Third generation.
Gen 3 Glock 19, the most common Glock in the world.
She's not common to me. She's
No,
special.
not at all. But Glock kind of hit it out of the park with their Gen 3. That's the one that they... A lot of law enforcement and militaries around the world use that one. So
I love her.
There you go. Santa saw it in the store and was stunned that they even had any because they've been in quite the demand lately.
Right?
And I was like, oh, wow, this thing does exist.
Now Santa could just find ammo.
Well,
He's not
common people
that
don't
good.
have ammo, and stores don't have ammo, but you're not running on empty, so you're doing fine.
Right. No, so we did that. That was fun. COVID winter towns are a little different than...
They are.
Yeah.
It was we were in a tourist town for a few days, and it was a little different.
Yeah, still fun, but yeah, not quite the same. So
Awesome gun range there, though.
oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was the prettiest gun range I've ever been to.
Those words don't normally go together, do they?
I know, but this had a view, and there was snow, and it was just the most pristine gun range you've ever seen in your life. Most of them are, they look like barren desert with, tires stacked up for backstops and.
No, this was a nice one.
Yeah.
And we didn't really listen to the news very much. We didn't read a lot.
Didn't. Yeah. We got back last night.
There's a lot going on, though. Like, have you seen that Kim Jong-un may be on his way out? And
I'm having a hard time believing that one.
Kim Yo-young, am I saying that right?
The sister?
Yeah, she disappeared for a little while, but she is back with a vengeance.
Sisters will do that to you.
Yeah, she's back, and she may be the first female dictator in modern history, which we always love female firsts, but I don't know if that's one you
Not sure this is one we want to aim for.
Yeah. Word is she is on her way up, and she is tired of her
brother, his shenanigans.
Yeah, and his health problems.
Well, you know how they have, like, we have an election that we just had that one side or the other, it's, you know, it was contentious and whatever.
Which one?
This past one, presidential election.
What?
Hang on. In North Korea, the way the power changes is somebody dies.
Right.
So I doubt that Lil Kim is going to want to just step down and go, oh, you're right, I'm going to let my sister run things for a while.
No, but there's been talk about, because he disappears also for long periods of time, he's not seen, and there's been talk that he's had a lot of heart problems, he's had a stroke, diabetes. The man is like 5'7" and weighs 300 pounds. So...
it's possible.
Yeah, so it may not be his choice, but that'll be interesting to watch, because apparently she is more of a hardliner than even he is, and she does not have the same affection for America that he does. So,
well, it may be because
Dennis Rodman's not going to
be going over there.
Heart.
Yeah,
no.
We're going to have to come up with whoever her teen heartthrob was.
I don't think she has one. If you read about her, I think we may be in for a different relationship with North Korea than Dennis Rodman and Trump have.
So Brad Pitt's not going to be able to go in there. I don't know how old she is. So would like Scott Baio be the one?
Let me see how old she
is. Or we're not that old.
No, I don't think she's.
Got to have somebody got to have Taylor Lautner. We got to have somebody from that generation.
Look at you.
I know. Well, I had teenagers at one time, so I know who that is. Huh. The Saved by the Bell cast.
Oh my God.
Slater from Saved by the Bell.
Stop.
Yeah, we could send him over there.
Stop.
Why would we not?
She's only 33 years old.
Oh, she's a youngster.
Yeah, she's only 33, so she would have been more like Zach and Cody and Hannah Montana.
I have no idea who that is. Now you're out of my league. Right. I know who Hannah Montana is, but the Zach and Cody thing, that sounds like a morning DJ team on a bad radio.
Oh my God.
Zach and Cody show. But yeah, no, we got to figure out what her soft spot is and send that in, because if it may be Zach and Cody, whoever that is, we got to send in.
Oh, you're so going to watch Zach and Cody after this?
No, I am not.
You are.
I will. What about the glowing vampire you asked about last, or the sparkling vampire?
It's not glowing.
Whatever. Is it the same thing?
Edward. No, that's Twilight.
Okay, but is that her generation though?
Oh, possibly.
So the sparkly vampire might be able to take over 15?
No, that's a little late. No? Yeah, it's a little late.
I'm just saying they don't have a peaceful transfer of power over there. Somebody's a dictator for 40 years and they die, and then somebody else takes over, or there's an assassination. And Lil Kim has killed his own uncle.
He killed his own half brother too,
and several others. Yes,
in 2017 they poisoned him in an airport.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I think there's been an uncle disappear as well too. Yeah. So
I don't think he disappeared. Depending on who you listen to, he either got devoured by dogs at
which is possible.
At the behest of Kim Jong-un. Or he was shot with a missile.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a little overkill, but okay.
Haha.
Wow.
They do not go gently into that good night.
No.
Speaking of missiles and explosions, Nashville Bomber.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
Okay, so still nobody knows a whole lot as of this morning when we were recording this. Guy seems to be, I don't know if the lone nut theory is the right word to use here, but there doesn't seem to be a tie-in to anything, and terrorist is and is also not the correct word to use here. It's like...
Seems like he had a grudge.
He did have an extra grudge in some kind of way, but usually these folks leave tapes or a manifesto, some writings, a lot of something, and this guy's kind of appears to be coming up a dry hole from what I understand. So
it may be a little early yet, but I think you could call him a terrorist. I don't think that he was a terrorist in the conventional sense of the word that we use in the past few years, and that he wasn't trying to inflict maximum casualties. Because he did give that weird, wonky warning that's kind of scary to listen to in the videos. So he was trying to get people out of there, but he was also trying to incite terror in that he blew up a downtown area on Christmas morning. So
I watched a video with, it was a live feed, or it was at that time no longer live, but with James Yeager, with whom we have trained, had a EOD tech guy on there. And the EOD tech guy said...
What is EOD? Just so that people know what you're saying.
Ordnance I forgot what the E stands for. Ordnance disposable.
Okay.
Massive shout out to my friend Savion Weinfeld, who was an EOD tech in the Army years ago. So it's guys who dispose of and take care of bombs.
Thank you.
Bomb guys, EOD. So somebody's going to correct me and tell me what the E stands for, and I can't.
That's all right.
I can't think of the E.
You. They're learning you.
There you go.
Bomb
guys.
I can hear my mom shudder right now.
He had a bomb guy on and said that the explosive was more sophisticated than a pipe bomb, but less sophisticated than most other stuff that normal, and this is massive air quotes, normal terrorists, like somebody that knew what they were doing, would use.
Right.
So it wasn't somebody like I don't know, somebody was commenting on there that this was Muslim jihadist or something, and James, to his credit, was like, no. They have way better bombs than that. So this was kind of a pedestrian level bomb. So this wasn't anything like you would think of a normal, like Oklahoma City in '95.
He meant to inflict casualties.
He killed a ton of people and blew up a massive amount of structure. The bomb that went off in Nashville, in the big picture, didn't do that much.
Oh, it did a lot as far as property damage, but not people damage. Right. But as far as property, it was pretty devastating.
Well, it was Christmas morning. There weren't a lot of people out. Most stuff was closed anyway.
No, but there were, my understanding is there was a building across the street that is just basically Airbnbs, like a few permanent residents, but mostly Airbnbs.
Right.
So there were people down there, but not to the extent that if he'd done it on like that afternoon. But I'll be curious because they're saying that he was a 5G conspiracy theorist. I'll be curious if more comes out on that.
That would be interesting because what you and I were just reading a minute ago said he's a computer tech guy.
Yeah.
So if you're a computer tech guy and a 5G conspiracy theorist, I don't know if that's like you should know one from the other. You should know. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? He's like everyone else, been probably somewhat isolated for the last 9-10 months, at least 9 months. And so he's probably gone down rabbit holes. And if he had any mental illness that was exasperated with the isolation and rabbit holes he was going down, who knows?
He claimed he had cancer with the person with whom he left his vehicle. So
hopefully not the RV.
Nope, that RV is done.
Gone. But he also signed his house away to a woman who said she didn't even know him.
Supposedly met her online or something, and she's from California, and he signed his house over to her.
Yeah, so it seems like there were some issues there. Like
that's not a house you're going to want.
Well, those are actions that someone who is well does not take.
Right.
So I'll be curious if we find out more, or if that just kind of
the shooter, away. the Fort Hood shooter back just a couple years ago now, going back. Same thing. He was doing the same thing, but it's kind of one of those things that you wouldn't catch it in the moment.
That was more terrorist.
Well, he was giving stuff away too, but he was about to be. Supposedly, his unit was about to be deployed, and that's kind of a common thing.
And wasn't he a jihadist? Like, didn't that come out, or am I thinking of the wrong?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's giving a bunch of groceries away and getting rid of stuff, and it kind of made sense in the moment because he was about to be deployed and be leaving for 18 months or whatever it was. I can't use this, here you go. And then you go back after the event and you start looking at stuff and it's like, oh yeah, now that makes sense. But you don't see it as it's going on. Because, hell, we give people back, you give somebody deer sausage or steaks from something you killed or whatever all the time. That's what you do. So, at least in my world, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I don't know. This might die down. We'll see.
Hopefully, we don't need any copycats either, because supposedly there's some people being idiots in other cities.
Right. I'm sorry, but throw the book at them.
That's an ass whooping. At least an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Drag them out of their vehicle and kick their ass. But what do I know?
On to COVID.
Oh, are we still talking about that? Jesus.
So Spain announced that they are going to keep a list of people who refuse the COVID vaccine. And while I've already told you I will be first in line for the vaccine and I'll take one in each arm if necessary, like I'm all for it. Bill Gates can chip me all he wants. But I think that's a little dicey, keeping a list. And supposedly, what I read, they're going to share it with other countries in the European Union. So if you don't take that vaccine, you're going to be on a naughty list. I don't know if they're going to keep you from going into different countries or what they're going to do with it. They're saying they are going to treat it like bank data, but I don't know.
So a COVID passport is what you're saying?
Well, so that's the other thing, is they're saying that to travel in 2021, there's already talk and there are already apps out there on the Apple App Store for COVID passports, a company called OnePass that...
So if you're a good little citizen and you do what the government tells you and you go get your shot, you can travel. This is the same government that thinks $600 is a good idea. So...
$600, that's Dave Chappelle. I'm rich, bitch.
Oh. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think that the passport is beyond just the United States. I think the passport is actually World Health Organization and several others.
So it's still whatever government you have. If it's Spanish, if it's English, if it's American, if it's whatever.
So, while I've already said, and I'll say it again, first in line for the vaccine whenever it's my turn, I think the passport and the sharing of lists is a little scary.
It's sounding a little bit like
oh God, don't go there. Don't go there.
Some other past government ways of doing things in the distant past. Sounds a little bit like that.
We are not doing Godwin's Law today.
We're not?
No, we're not. But it does merit watching because freedom of choice and autonomy over your own body. And that begs the question of whether it is autonomy over your body or greater good.
I just think that if you... It's getting to where if you have questions... You automatically, and of course this is mostly social media stuff, but you know, if you pose a question like how do they come up with a vaccine in 9 months when normally it takes 9 years, you're not supposed to ask those kinds of questions. You're supposed to shut up and go get your shot, or else you can't travel. You're not even allowed to question anything anymore. And I'm like, I have questions.
They answered that question, the speed of the vaccine. I'm comfortable with that. They answered that, and enough experts have answered that I'm okay with that. You should be able to ask, and you should be able to say yes or no to what you put in your own body.
Like, there's several companies that came up with a vaccine. Pfizer's one of them. I forgot the other ones, but let's just say there's 3 companies. Well, there's several different automobile companies and several different soft drink and beer companies. Which one's the best, and how do I know, is my question. Are they all exactly the same thing? Or is the Pfizer one better because I happen to know that company's name? Or is there another one out there that came from a different country that's lesser known but better? I mean, how do we know who's got the best one, and how do we know it even works?
I'm going to say I'm not trusting Russia's because apparently Russia downplayed their death toll.
You don't say.
A tad bit.
I'm stunned.
What is it?
So I've got a question about that. Remember the Johns Hopkins, the dashboard everybody was watching when COVID was brand new, and it was like showing the death toll, and it was like the
Russia
rolling
was like
numbers.
0.
And all over the world there were these red dots, and it started in China and then in Europe and then the United States and all that. And Russia was zeroed out the entire time. Like they claimed they might have had 1 case in Moscow or some crap, right?
And they're actually comparable to us, if I'm not mistaken. They're not quite to our numbers, but again, they could still be full of it. Look at me trying not to cuss.
I know.
Did you notice that? I needed to point that out.
Very good of you.
But
We're trying to be family friendly.
I think their numbers are closer to ours than they would have dared acknowledge earlier this year. I do believe countries like New Zealand and Thailand, because they locked their borders down so fast and so tight, that they have no privacy in Thailand, so no even acknowledgement of privacy. But Russia. Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm stunned.
So I don't think I'm going to trust Russia's vaccine.
I'm stunned the Russians would lie about something like that. They've never been known to do that before.
Right?
So, Olympic athletes, steroids in every single one of them.
Spies being poisoned.
Spies being,
go on.
yes.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'll trust the others when it's our turn, which should be, late spring, early summer at the earliest.
How do they know? How do you know when your turn is?
Well, we're not in one of the high-risk groups, and we're not medical providers. We're pretty far down the list.
I'm waiting to see when the zombies start turning, and then we'll see how it goes.
One thing I did read, kind of on topic, but off topic, it's the long-term effects of COVID. There are actually a lot of doctors coming out and acknowledging that even with mild cases, no hospitalization necessary, that weeks and up to a couple of months later, there are people who are having psychotic episodes, and the only thing they have in common is they've been diagnosed with COVID.
Not to make light of this, but how do we know it's COVID and not just having been on lockdown for the last year?
But people who have had no previous experiences, no markers, and they're having like truly psychotic, like be hospitalized for their own safety and other people's safety episodes. So I think that the long-term effects of COVID are more far-reaching than we've realized. Like, you don't just necessarily get it and go on with your life. There's also an uptick in people who are having secondary, like, reinfections, which at that point I'm like, seriously? What are you doing to get infected twice? Like, are you going out without a mask and, like, licking light poles? I don't know. But
I haven't seen the numbers on the reinfection. I know it was smaller than it was first reported, but
it's actually, they're saying that the immunity from infection is not what we thought it was.
Yeah, it's not, if you get it once, you're not immune for life like other stuff.
No, it could just be months.
Yeah.
So,
and again, this thing, we still haven't been dealing with this a full year yet, if people can believe that.
It's right around a year.
We're getting close. Yeah, we're close to it, but we're not at a full year yet. And
I think
as far as the United States,
I was going to say in Wuhan it was December.
So the long-term effects of all this, including the shots and all of that business,
it's still brand new.
It's still new.
And speaking of Wuhan, the civilian journalist who was first reporting on the infections in Wuhan was just sentenced to 4 years in a Chinese, I think, prison or labor camp.
The Chinese sentenced someone to prison for telling the truth?
Right.
Wow. I didn't know I thought Chinese government, they thought it was a utopia over there.
Yeah, so hopefully there are organizations watching for her safety. Because 4 years is a long time in a Chinese labor camp.
In a Chinese prison?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's going to be busting rocks and, begging for food, and he'll weigh 79 pounds when he comes out.
She.
Oh, her.
Yes.
Oh, even worse. Sorry.
Going back to the COVID passports, you thought it was hilarious that I was telling you from one of my Facebook groups, a mom was asking about good cruises to go on in 2021.
I didn't think it was hilarious. I thought it was the height of stupidity. I was stunned into silence when you read that out loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, what part of this don't you understand?
Okay. Because have they heard of norovirus?
Okay, so cruises are for people who are afraid to fly anyway, and they're horrible. You're in a prison on a ship for days with people that do nothing but eat and run around.
Hey, now, so we went on a cruise when Grace graduated from high school, and it was actually, I had really low expectations. It was a ton of fun. We had a blast, but we also did things you probably can't do on cruises now, like went to Jamaica, went to the Grand Caymans, got off the ship, spent the day.
Right, so so these folks in 2021 want to go get on a ship that you can't get off of in these other countries. And I don't even know if you can do that. Like Carnival and all the Disney ones. Are you on the Google right now?
Yeah.
Because I think like the Disney cruises and the Carnivals and the Viking cruises and all that, I think that's shut down.
They have some special offers.
I bet they do. I bet you could go for real cheap right now, but you can't go anywhere. I mean, you can just float around in the ocean.
Right. I don't think you can get off the ship.
You can't get off anywhere. They're not going to let you on.
Actually, the one I'm looking at is looking at 2022.
Okay.
So I don't know about all of them, but I just thought it was hilarious.
I think cruise and cruise ships are an idea whose time has passed. I'm sorry. That's just
for the foreseeable future. Plus, don't get me started on their environmental footprint. But yeah, I think that I should have looked at people's answers to her, because I'm pretty sure that there were probably 100. Are you kidding me?
Right, gotta be.
To every yes, there's a $60 special here.
Tina Fey had the best commentary I've ever heard in her book Bossy Pants on cruises. They had to go on. She went on a cruise because her husband was legitimately afraid to fly. Like he has a legit phobia. So she agreed to go on a cruise, and they went on one, and then there was a legit problem with this ship on the way back to New York or wherever they had to like get off of the ship and then get like in the Bahamas or something and then fly back to New York. He wound up having to fly anyway. I don't remember what the whole story was, but her commentary on cruises, cruise ships, and the people that are on them was hilarious.
Oh, she's funny, period.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look that up.
Yes.
Okay, I am looking at the Princess website, and they are seriously like pushing 2022. So I don't know if there's anything available for 2021, but it's 2022, so...
So, you know all the junk and trash that's floating around out in the ocean, like all the plastic?
Probably a large part of it is from cruises.
I have a theory. I have an idea, because I've seen on the small version inside of like inner harbors and stuff, they have boats that with these big conveyor belts on them that can pick up the trash. Why don't we take all these cruise ships that aren't doing anything right now and put these, conveyor belts on the front of them and run them out in the ocean and pick up all that plastic?
Because
that's a good idea.
They would have to have crews. They would have to have crews of people.
You don't need that many to run them.
Are they going to get hazard pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Why don't you float that idea to your boy? Get it. Float that idea.
I can do you one better than that. You take offenders who are trying to detox or get off drugs or do whatever, and you spend half the day working and the other half in group.
You had me
just
at
like
the
John
first
Mulaney.
Part, but...
I guarantee you I could make it work with prison labor.
No.
Why would you not? So it's a cruise ship, right? You have lots and lots of rooms. You have lots and lots of big galleys and all that kind of stuff to hold your AA meetings and your NA meetings. And when you're not in one of those, you're sorting trash.
Honey,
if you do it for 6 months, you're free.
I think...
Do you don't like my theory?
I have no words.
Okay. All right. That's just a thought. I just thought
no words.
Use some things that aren't being put to use right now.
Huh.
Do that. So, COVID, Nashville... Dubious achievements in Russia.
$2,000 versus $600. That goes before
2,000 or 1,200.
2,000. That goes before the Senate today.
Is it? Oh, the Senate's working. Like they're in session.
I think they are. I'm pretty sure it's 2,000, babe.
Okay, so
correct me if I'm wrong.
I saw one headline that said 2,000 per household, and I saw one that said per person. I'm having a hard time.
When I went to NPR, which I know you think they're leaning,
okay,
but they're pretty good at facts as far as like where they get it from. They said 2,000 per person, and they drilled down into the actual voting. So if it's 2,000 per person, that's far different than 2,000 per household.
Are we still sending the millions of dollars, or billions rather, to other countries? Is that still in the thing?
So this was simply, my understanding was this was literally just about the stimulus for American citizens. So I don't think it's touched anything else. Could be wrong. I'm sure someone will let me know if it is. But
so if you get the 2,000, are you still going to do the same thing we talked about last time?
Probably with part of it, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
The other part I'll probably put in short-term savings for a rainy day. So
yeah, hang on to it. Don't go buy the PS5 or the whatever latest greatest. Don't go get a tattoo. You better stack it up somewhere. You better put it somewhere.
Yeah, seriously, like I would not be buying
the emergency fund. Yeah. No, yeah. I want that, Beretta shotgun, but I need food, gasoline and things like that.
That could probably be argued more for than a PS5 or a tattoo, but I think saving or investing it is the smart way to go.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion.
May give some of mine to Nate and let him invest some of it and say, here you go.
There you go.
I expect to be a millionaire by the end of 2021. Make it happen.
And the boy's going to have a hard turn, and he's going to be like, I guess I'm getting tattoos now.
If there's anybody that I think could do that...
It would be him?
It would be him.
Right?
If he got like dollar signs tatted on himself, that'd be okay. Because that boy can figure out the stock market. I'm really in all of it.
Or we could get a new dog.
No.
Designer
dog?
No
dogs, no designer dog. If we get that place that we were looking at that's under contract, we're not going to get it. But if hypothetically we did, we would need some like real dogs. Hounds. Huskies.
Not much.
Something. No. We need like dogs that have some authority.
That are not
because we're literally going to be living with the mountain lions and the bears. Yes.
Yeah.
So, we kind of do already.
Dream big.
Yeah. That would be awesome, though. If we lived in that cabin and you wanted to come see us, you would for real have to be committed.
Yeah.
But
6 miles of skiing.
Yeah. Now, if any of our friends listening would like to have this investment opportunity to invest in this same property with us,
this morning.
We can get it. But if we just go in there and make a bigger offer or something, it's fine. I'm sure we can derail it some kind of way.
Okay.
The people that are under contract probably haven't seen the entrance to it lately. Yeah, they probably saw that back in the fall when it was nice, and the fall colors, and the aspens were yellow or gold and just beautiful, and they put it under contract. I promise you they haven't been up Monarch Pass and seen the frozen roads and the 6-foot wall of frozen ice snow blocking.
The GPS saying you're going to turn where?
Yes, their little Subaru ain't going to make that turn, I promise you. So, Anyway, fun to think about.
Any other big news before we
That's all I
get busy
got.
with our day?
I'm sure there's stuff that will break loose as the day goes on and during the week. This is kind of that, and I was asking this question earlier. There are no carols for this particular time of year. We're past Christmas, but before New Year's. So what's the
there's
music?
a lot of memes.
Okay.
There's a lot of memes. I do love the one that said, "Nobody call 2021 your year."
Yes.
We go in quietly and we don't touch anything.
Yes. Be quiet. Don't touch anything.
I like that.
Keep to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about how you're gonna YOLO and this is your year and new year, new me BS. No. You just fly under the radar. Just be quiet.
I like that.
Don't say anything.
So no carols, but lots of memes.
Yes, agreed. That's all I got. You good?
I'm good. You need to go take some Tylenol.
I need to go I've taken quite a bit this morning. The dogs are pacing back and forth.
Right.
And this is probably, you can probably hear it on the microphone.
I'm quite sure.
They are ready to be fed, so we got to go take care of that. So, but as usual, Robyn is correct.
And Ryan is right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.